Daniel, if you had absolutely zero plans this weekend, what would you do first?
Honestly, sleep until noon and not feel guilty about it.
See, that's already interesting. Some people plan every hour, and some people just want silence.
I'm definitely the silence person, and that's actually today's topic.
Hey everyone, I'm Diana, and welcome back to Crack the Lingo.
We're talking about weekend plans today, and honestly, it's one of my favorite topics.
It's such an easy topic to talk about, but it teaches so much useful English at the same time.
True, you use future plans, invitations, suggestions, all in one simple conversation.
Exactly. So stick with us, because by the end of this episode, you'll be able to talk about your own weekend naturally.
No boring grammar lecture here, just two friends talking about their weekend.
So get comfortable, and let's get into it.
Before we start, quick favor. If you're enjoying Crack the Lingo, hit the like button.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. New episodes every week to help your English sound more natural.
And here's today's comment question. What's one thing you always do on weekends, no matter what?
Write your answer below in English. We genuinely read every comment.
Okay, let's actually dig into it. So, what are you doing this weekend?
Honestly, nothing exciting. I'm planning a slow Saturday, maybe some cleaning, maybe a walk in the park.
That sounds peaceful, actually. I used to think a good weekend needed plans, but lately I just want rest.
I feel that completely. During the week, everything is scheduled. Weekends should feel a little free.
Right. Do you ever feel guilty when you don't do anything productive on a weekend?
Sometimes yes, like there's a voice in my head saying, you should be doing something useful.
I know that voice well. I call it my Sunday guilt.
Sunday guilt. That's such a relatable phrase. It's that feeling when the weekend is ending and you didn't do enough.
Exactly. You could say, I have a bit of Sunday guilt. I feel like I wasted my weekend.
That's such a useful phrase. I think a lot of our listeners feel that too.
Probably, but here's my honest opinion. Rest is productive too. Nobody has to fill every hour.
I agree with that in theory, but in practice, I still feel that pressure sometimes.
Fair enough. So, besides resting, do you have anything social planned?
Actually, yes. I'm meeting a friend for brunch on Sunday.
Brunch, that's such a nice weekend word. It's basically breakfast and lunch combined, usually later in the morning.
Exactly. You could say, we're getting brunch on Sunday. It's more relaxed than a regular breakfast.
I love brunch plans. There's something about eating pancakes at 11 in the morning that feels like a small luxury.
It really does. What about you? Any social plans this weekend?
I'm actually hosting a small get-together on Saturday night. Just a few friends, some food, some music.
A get-together. Nice. That's a casual way to say a small gathering with friends.
Exactly. You could say, we're having a small get-together at my place this weekend.
That sounds fun. Are you the type who plans everything, or do you just let it happen naturally?
Honestly, I try to plan a little, but it always turns into chaos halfway through.
Chaos how?
Like, I plan for 6 people and suddenly 10 people show up and I'm making more food at midnight.
That sounds stressful, but also kind of wonderful in a strange way.
It really is. Honestly, some of my best memories come from those unplanned extra hours.
I believe that. Sometimes the best moments aren't the planned ones.
Completely true. Okay, here's a question for you. Do you prefer a weekend that's fully planned or one that's more spontaneous?
I actually prefer having a loose plan, like 1 or 2 things confirmed and the rest open.
I disagree a little there. I think too much planning kills the fun of a weekend.
Really? You don't like having anything fixed?
Not really. I like waking up and deciding in the moment. It feels more free.
I understand that, but for me, having nothing planned actually stresses me out more. I end up wasting the whole day deciding.
That's fair. I guess it depends on the person. Some people need structure to relax, and some people need freedom to relax.
That's a really good way to put it. Structure versus freedom. Both valid.
Exactly. Neither one is the wrong way to enjoy a weekend.
Quick challenge for everyone listening right now. Pause for a second and think of your ideal Saturday in just 3 words.
3 words only, not a whole paragraph.
Exactly. Then write those 3 words in the comments. We're genuinely curious what people come up with.
Okay, back to us. Let's talk about something else now. Do you ever plan a weekend trip, even a short one?
I love a short weekend trip. Even just one night somewhere new feels like a full vacation.
I remember one time I planned a quick weekend trip to the mountains with my brother. We didn't book anything properly, and we ended up sleeping in the car for one night because every place was full.
Wait, you actually slept in the car?
We did. It was cold, uncomfortable, and honestly one of the funniest nights of my life. We still laugh about it now.
That's such a perfect example of a weekend that didn't go as planned but still became a great memory.
Exactly. Sometimes the plan fails, but the story becomes better because of it.
I love that. Do you usually travel on weekends or do you prefer staying local?
Honestly, I prefer staying local most weekends. Traveling every weekend sounds exhausting to me.
I agree with that. Weekend trips are nice occasionally, but they shouldn't feel like another job.
Exactly. Sometimes people plan such busy weekends that they need a break from their break.
That's so true. A break from your break? That's basically burnout in disguise.
It really is. Let's talk about something a little different now. Do you enjoy weekend chores or do you avoid them completely?
I don't enjoy them, but I do them early so they don't ruin the rest of the day.
Smart approach. I usually do the opposite. I delay chores until Sunday night and then I regret it completely.
That sounds like a classic Sunday scramble.
Sunday Scramble. I love that phrase. It's basically rushing to finish everything before the weekend ends.
Exactly. You could say, I'm doing the Sunday scramble again, trying to finish laundry before tomorrow.
That's definitely me every single week. Some habits never change.
At least you're consistent. Okay, here's a bigger question. Do you think how you spend your weekend affects your whole week?
Completely. If my weekend is relaxing, I start the week calm. If my weekend is chaotic, Monday feels twice as hard.
I feel exactly the same. A good weekend really does set the tone for everything after it.
It does. That's actually why I try to protect at least a few quiet hours even during a busy weekend.
Protect your time. That's such an important idea. A lot of people forget that rest needs to be planned too.
Exactly. You could say, I'm protecting my Sunday morning. No plans, just quiet time.
I love that phrase. It makes rest feel like a priority instead of something extra.
That's the goal, honestly. Okay, one more light question before vocabulary. What's something small that instantly makes your weekend better?
Honestly, good coffee in the morning. Something about a slow cup of coffee changes my whole mood.
I love that. For me, it's having no alarm clock. Just waking up naturally feels like a small luxury.
That's such a simple thing, but so true. Small comforts really do make a big difference.
They really do. Let's talk about something else now. Do you usually spend your weekend with family, friends, or mostly alone?
Honestly, it depends on the week. If I've been social all week, I want alone time on the weekend.
That makes sense. I'm the opposite, actually. During the week, I barely see anyone, so weekends are when I want people around me.
That's interesting. So your ideal weekend is basically the opposite of a quiet one.
Pretty much. I recharge through people. Silence for too long actually makes me feel a bit low.
I understand that completely, even though it's the opposite for me. I recharge through silence, and too much socializing drains me by Sunday.
See, this is exactly why weekend plans are so personal. What relaxes one person exhausts another.
Exactly. Do you think couples or families sometimes struggle with this difference?
Definitely. I think a lot of small arguments happen because one person wants to go out and the other just wants to stay home.
That's so true. It's not really about the plan itself. It's about different needs colliding.
Right, and once you understand that, it becomes less personal and more about compromise.
That's a really mature way to look at it. Do you and your friends ever compromise on weekend plans?
All the time. Usually it means half a day social, half a day quiet, so everyone gets something.
That sounds like a fair system, honestly. Okay, here's another question. Do you usually plan your weekend days in advance or decide last minute?
I'm the total opposite of a planner. I genuinely don't know what I'm doing until Saturday morning, and honestly, I like it that way.
That would stress me out completely. I'm definitely a planner. I like knowing at least roughly what Saturday and Sunday will look like by Thursday.
What if everything is booked or your friends are busy though?
That does happen sometimes, and then I have to adjust, which honestly takes me a moment to accept.
I've learned to be okay with a plan changing at the last minute. It comes from experience, I think.
That's a skill I really admire because I struggle with sudden changes.
The more last-minute weekends you have, the more comfortable you get with uncertainty, at least in my experience.
Maybe there's a middle ground, planning the big things and leaving the small things open.
I actually do that now sometimes. I'll confirm one main thing like brunch or a get-together and leave the rest flexible.
That sounds like a really balanced approach, honestly. Best of both worlds.
Exactly. Okay, let's shift topics a little. Do you ever use your weekend to learn something new?
Sometimes, yes. I usually use part of my weekend to read, especially if it's a book I've been putting off during the week.
Reading on weekends sounds so peaceful. Do you have a specific time you like to read?
Usually Sunday afternoon, with tea and honestly no phone nearby.
No phone nearby. That's basically a luxury item at this point.
It really is. Putting the phone away for even 1 hour feels surprisingly refreshing.
I completely agree with that, even though I struggle to actually do it myself. I do like using a few weekend hours for something like a new recipe or a video about a topic I'm curious about.
Same here, honestly. Knowing something is good for you and actually doing it are two very different things.
That's true for so many things, not just phones. Okay, one more topic. Do you ever feel pressure from social media about what a weekend should look like?
Oh, definitely. Sometimes I see everyone's trips and brunches online, and I start feeling like my simple weekend isn't enough.
I feel that too sometimes. It's strange because logically I know a quiet weekend is still valid, but online it can feel like everyone else is living a bigger life.
Exactly. But I think that's mostly an illusion. People usually post their best hour, not their whole weekend.
That's such an important point. Nobody posts the boring parts, the naps, the laundry, the doing nothing.
Right, so comparing your full weekend to someone else's highlight reel isn't really fair.
Well said. I think that's a great reminder for our listeners too, especially anyone feeling that pressure.
On a related note, do you ever think about money when planning your weekend?
Honestly, yes, more than I used to. I used to spend without thinking, and Monday would arrive with regret.
That's such a common experience. Do you set any kind of limit for yourself now?
I try to. I usually decide on one thing I actually want to spend on, and I keep everything else simple.
That sounds like a smart system. I do something similar. I call it my one splurge rule.
One splurge rule. I like that. What counts as a splurge for you?
Usually something like a nice dinner out or a small treat I don't buy during the week.
That makes sense. It's a nice middle ground between spending nothing and spending everything.
Exactly. It lets the weekend feel special without causing financial stress.
I think a lot of people struggle with that balance, especially when everyone around them seems to be spending freely.
True, but a weekend doesn't need to be expensive to feel good. Sometimes the simplest plans end up being the most memorable.
Completely agree. Some of my favorite weekends cost almost nothing at all.
Same here. A walk, good conversation, and maybe a home-cooked meal can honestly beat an expensive outing.
Couldn't agree more. All right, let's move into today's vocabulary review before we wrap everything up.
We covered some really useful words and phrases today.
Our first one was Sunday guilt. That's the feeling of not doing enough during the weekend.
Example, I have a bit of Sunday guilt. I feel like I wasted my weekend.
Next, we had brunch, which means a late morning meal that combines breakfast and lunch.
Example, we're getting brunch on Sunday. It's more relaxed than a regular breakfast.
Then we had get-together, which is a casual, small gathering with friends.
Example, we're having a small get-together at my place this weekend.
We also used the phrase Sunday Scramble, meaning rushing to finish tasks before the weekend ends.
Example, I'm doing the Sunday Scramble again, trying to finish laundry before tomorrow.
And finally, protect your time, meaning to keep certain hours free and calm on purpose.
Example, I'm protecting my Sunday morning. No plans, just quiet time.
And one more, one splurge rule, meaning allowing yourself one small treat while keeping everything else simple.
Example, I'm following my one splurge rule this weekend. Just one nice dinner, nothing else.
Great words today. Sunday guilt, brunch, get-together, Sunday scramble, protect your time, and one splurge rule.
Try using at least one of these the next time you talk about your weekend in English.
Now, let's move into a little reflection before we finish today's episode.
I really like this part. It always makes the topic feel personal.
Weekends aren't just about resting or having fun. They show what we actually value when nobody's telling us what to do.
That's such a good point. Someone who fills every hour probably values connection and energy.
And someone who protects quiet time probably values peace and space to think.
Neither one is right or wrong, it just says something different about each person.
And honestly, the way we plan our weekends often mirrors how we handle bigger decisions in life too.
That's an interesting connection. A planner in small things is usually a planner in big things too.
Exactly. And someone comfortable with last-minute weekend changes is probably more adaptable in general.
I never thought about it that way, but it makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. So here's our reflection question for you, our listener. What does your ideal weekend actually say about what you need right now?
Take a moment and think about it honestly. Maybe you need more rest. Maybe you need more people around you. Maybe you need less pressure to be productive.
Try describing your answer in English, using one of today's new words or phrases if you can.
And if you want extra support, share your answer in the comments. We genuinely love reading them.
We really do. It helps us understand our listeners better, and it helps you practice real English at the same time.
All right, I think it's time to wrap up before we start planning our actual weekends together.
Fair enough. Let's summarize today's episode.
We talked about weekend plans, rest versus structure, weekend trips, chores, and how our weekends affect the whole week.
And we learned some useful vocabulary. Sunday guilt, brunch, get-together, Sunday scramble, protect your time, and one splurge rule.
Remember, talking about your weekend is such an easy and natural way to practice English. Everyone has a story, and everyone has an opinion.
So next time someone asks about your weekend, don't just say it was good. Tell them what you did, how it felt, and why it mattered to you.
That's how a simple answer becomes a real, meaningful conversation.
Thank you so much for listening today. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.
Before you go, tell us one thing you're actually looking forward to this weekend.
We'll be reading the comments, and we genuinely can't wait to hear what you're planning.
Thanks for spending this time with us. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you in the next episode.
Bye, viewers.